when I was drinking. I did shrooms as my first drug when I was out of the military and drinking, and luckily that was a very huge scare, and so I didn't do drugs after that because the friends that I were with thought it would be funny to give me about 3 doses more than what the average person takes when they take it, and I didn't know any better. So if you have no idea what shrooms does to you, it slows everything down around you. Like, someone can walk into a room to get a drink out of the refrigerator and they don't come back for hours because they have no idea that they've been in there that long and that it's taken them that long to get a drink out of the refrigerator. And when you're on shrooms, if anything moves in the room, it changes your mood completely. So they would move things around because they didn't take them. They let me take them, and then I was too messed up to know that they didn't take them. So they were messing with me the entire time. And it's not something that wears off. I couldn't go to sleep. I cried. I sat there and cried for hours because I couldn't go to sleep, and that's all I wanted to do was go to sleep and wake up and, you know, not have that feeling. Yeah, that feeling doesn't go away for like 3 days. So I came home and my parents, you know, found out what was wrong, and I had to lay in my bed for days because I couldn't even function to go outside of my room. And you think that I would have learned to listen there, but no, I just drank more alcohol at that point. And my parents and I were constantly in a fight because, you know, they were saved and I was an atheist from about, you know, the time I was 10 or earlier. About the time that I was going through all this, my parents had just started coming back to church here, so they were really always on me about, you know, you wouldn't have these issues if you were saved. And to me, that was, you know, that was ridiculous. I'm like, everyone has issues, and they're like, no, you don't understand. This, your life you wouldn't feel, you know, the need to go out and party and do all this crap, and you would have much better friends because those people aren't your friends. And I couldn't see, you know, past the fact that they weren't really good friends. And so after months and months of my parents hounding me, I finally told my mom, you know, I will meet with Brother Brad if you will just shut up and leave me alone. So I came up here and I met with Brother Brad right in this room, and that was a very long meeting. I told him the way I felt before I was saved was that, you know, you live this life, you give all your money to the church, and you do all these, you know, good things, and, you know, what if when you die it's all for nothing? I said, and you're a fool. And he goes, no, you're the fool, because if I die and it's all for nothing, then I haven't lost anything. But if you die and it wasn't all for nothing, you go to hell.
That's right.
And he goes, it's like, so, you know, what do you have to lose? If you believe, then you have lost nothing. And so I, you know, got saved, and I walked right out the door, got in my car, and drove to a party. Got really, really drunk. And slowly, you know, I started to look at my life and realize that all the people around me were, you know, they didn't have my best interests at heart, and that if I would get away from all the alcohol, that, you know, just because you drink and your problems go away, then you wake up, they're still there. But I figured out, you know, if I stopped drinking, then I could probably deal with my problems and they'd be gone for good. So on about a month before my 21st birthday, I decided not to drink any more alcohol, and I haven't had a drink since then, so it's been I'm 22 now, so it's not been that long, but I realized that life is much better when you're not drunk. And then even though I was saved, I didn't, really participate in church. I came and whatnot, but I had met a guy and we were dating, and he lived like an hour and a half away, and I worked an hour and a half away, so it was just easier for us to live together. And it was, it was okay at first, things were great and fun, but then one morning I was driving to work and I just started bawling because I knew that what I was doing was wrong, and no one told me. I just knew it was wrong. And so I turned around, packed up my car and left. And then he he wasn't saved. He grew up Catholic and decided that he was agnostic or whatever. And so he couldn't understand why I couldn't live with him because he wasn't a Christian. And basically it was wrong anyways, but that was the main point, is because he wanted us to still date, and I was like, no, I can't see you because we don't believe the same thing and it's just not going to work out. And so slowly things turned around after that, and I now have a career that I never thought I would have been in, but it has worked out, and it's my favorite thing in life now. I don't have money problems. I always had money problems when I was younger, but as soon as I actually did put faith in God and started tithing, I didn't have any problems anymore. I can make all my bills and still have money left over. And then, of course, on May 1st, I woke up and was in severe pain, and by the end of the afternoon, I was starting to be paralyzed. And for most people, I'm sure that would have shaken their faith, but I guess, I have no idea why it didn't shake my faith, but it's made it a lot stronger. And at least once a week I have to answer the question of, why are you a Christian if God gave you this disease, or God allowed you to have this disease? So people are constantly questioning, and I'm like, well, would you still be a Christian? They're like, no. And that's it's just being sick has opened a lot of doors. I've got to meet a lot of different people, and I've got to talk to them about God, and I wouldn't have done that before, because I wouldn't have just gone up to someone and talked about my faith, but now it's given them an opening to talk to them. So actually, when people ask me, I'm quite thankful, because it's changed my life a lot, and I've grown much, much closer to God than I ever would have been before this. And pretty much that's my story. God can take you from being completely lonely and, wanting to end your life to everything working out and just turning around slowly but surely.
Are you dating right now?
No.
So you're not lonely and you're not dating. It's just you and the Lord and your family, and you're okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was...
You don't need a guy in your life, although it might be cool. My point in that was saying you don't have to have another person, because you're always going to be looking, even if you have that person.
And I used to go out and do things every night.
What's so funny about that? I don't get what's funny about that.
But a lot of nights I stay home, and I would much rather read my Bible, and that sounds pretty stupid to...
No, it doesn't.
No, I know.
No, we're spiritual like that. I get you.
So, and I truly have, lost a lot of people because of the changes that have happened in my life, because, they're just getting to the stages where they're moved out on their own, so of course they are now allowed to do a lot of things that they weren't, and their life has taken a complete turn from what they were. It's like complete opposite of what happened to me, so... I it's just